everyone, welcome to day 16. It's the last illustration of this double page spread, and today I want to dedicate it to Frida Kahlo. On the 6th of July 1907, Frida Kahlo was born, a beautiful artist who inspired so many other artists in many ways, through her artwork, through her life, through her decadence and style. On the 13th of July 1954, Frida Kahlo has passed away, which marks a 70-year anniversary this year. So July is definitely a month that Frida Kahlo has been in the mind and thoughts of many other people. So I thought today I'll show you how to create a little illustration inspired by the beautiful artist and woman. I will also show you a couple of illustrations that I have created myself, inspired by Frida Kahlo's style and image. So this one has golden butterflies in there, and then I have a little full body illustration of Frida Kahlo, and then this one here. So actually this one has been created with my FOTD stamp set, just the face and the body I have illustrated. I have to tell you, this is the sketchbook that I have another one of waiting for me to start, and I cannot wait because it has so many artworks in here and illustrations that I have truly enjoyed creating. And I look back at these illustrations and flip through the pages of this sketchbook with such a joy. So today, let's focus on Frida Kahlo. So far, I have used this element from my palette swatches stamp set to create swatches later on. I have also used the face, eyes and lips from the Moving Doll stamp set. And of course, Frida Kahlo signature monobrow from the FOTD set, which I also mentioned to you earlier, where I used some of the elements to create the face. I'm also going to use a couple of the elements from, I think from the Summer Florals, maybe the Botanical as well. I will see, but I think predominantly from the Summer Florals. Frida was known to have some flowers in her hair, and she had a signature look which I will try to recreate today. As I was reaching to get something on my desk, I noticed that I had this little tag hanging on my mood board, and that was also inspired by Frida Kahlo with little pompons, and it's one of my favorite things. Every time I would sort of hang it on the Christmas tree. This was obviously in 2019, and it just reminded me of Frida and the inspiration that she provided for so many artists. And then I just decided to take it out of the Christmas ornaments decoration box because I wanted to see it every day, not just around Christmas time on the Christmas tree. So there we go, a little inspo here as well. So let's talk about Frida Kahlo's hair and how we're going to create that style. I think she wore two long plaits, so she would make two long plaits on each side and then somehow kind of weave them through and cross them over to create this beautiful hairstyle that she was known for. That's just my thinking how she did it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw on these kind of plait shapes, and then we're going to stamp a few flowers, and then I'm going to draw on the hair behind it so that it kind of looks like the flowers are sitting inside. So we're going to have essentially 3 layers. So from the Summer Florals, I'm going to use this element right here, and after inking it up, we're going to place it kind of in the middle of her head. Now we're going to go ahead and audition the other two. So they're too big. I think I'm going to go for this size here, which is smaller. And I'm planning only 3 flowers, one and the other, stamping them next to each other. I'm going to leave it just at these 3 flowers. I might add a little bit of something later, but for now this is it. Now I'm going to show you how to add the hairstyle to it. So you can see the flowers running in the middle. I'm going to now illustrate. In fact, you can take a pencil if you're not 100% sure and kind of audition something. I'm going to start quite low and just do like a wavy line, and then I'm going to go ahead and do the same, going over her hair. Just a nice wavy line like so. I'm also thinking of cutting this flower at the bottom a little bit. This is a kneadable eraser and it's good for tracing and that kind of a thing. So now that we have a very faint line, I'm going to trace that with my pen. And you can correct things if you want to. And I'm going to cut off this line here. So essentially everything around these flowers. Now I'm going to take a black marker and fill in the large areas. I'm not going too much near the corners and places where I need to have a finer tip. Now taking a 0.5, I'm going to just fill in little areas that need to be perfected. Now we're going to go into 0.1 and kind of finish off her face. She always had earrings and I kind of wish now that I would have stamped her face higher above. I thought I would create a bigger flower crown, which we still can do, but for now I'm just keeping it nice and simple. Frida was known for her iconic red lipstick. So now onto the eye. Then the eyebrow. So the eyebrow you could do just stamp in black and be done with it. I like to kind of add these sort of individual hairs with a really fine liner. Now we're going to fill in the eyeliner. I'm going to leave the earrings off today because there is not enough space for me to really create those bulky big statement earrings. So I'm going to do something extra on the hair just to elevate things and fill the space up here. Decided to use a couple of elements, and these elements are from the floral set, which was the first botanical set that I ever created. It's sold out and it's not available at the moment. But you can use similar things from the summer florals. You've got a couple of these items here. I thought for those of you who do have these stamp sets, you can take them out and give them some love. So I'm going to just stamp it quite high above here. So now let's connect the leaves together. I feel like we could still add a little bit of something here. Let's see. I really associate Frida with like florals, and I think she can carry things in her crown. I think this is good now. Let's try connecting these bits. I'm still tempted to carry on and just fill this space. I think this is good now. So just think about the composition, how you want to fill things, where you want to add volume, where you want to add length and height. I have already auditioned a couple of the Tombow colors. They're very similar to what we have been using throughout, but I think that these will work really well with Frida's skin tone. And just to give you kind of a quick color theme, I'm going to use this beautiful red for her lips, and I might put that through the flowers. So that's the kind of the color theme I'm going for, and the rest I'll figure out as I go, so like the greens and everything. So these are lovely 5 colors. As always, let's start with the base color of the 942 and make sure that your pen is fully dried at this point, so give it a few minutes so there's no running in. Or you can also, if you have a heat tool, just set it quickly. So think about the face, the contouring, and keep the bridge of the nose highlighted. So no color there. We're going to leave the white of the paper. And now just going to blend and smooth the lines. I find with Tombows, the faster you work, the more able you are to blend these lines completely. Before we go ahead and add another layer of color, we're just going to set it with the heat tool. Now let's go in with, I think I'm going to add a little bit of this yellow color around her eyes, like that, and just a little bit around her temple area. I'm going to add a bit of water again to try and blend it. We're maintaining the white bridge of the nose. Again, heat tool. Now we're going to add depth and the right skin tone. So I'm just going to start with the temples, top of the ears, all along underneath the hair. A bit under the nose, around the eyes, plenty of water. If you need to dab something off to kind of maintain the highlight like on the forehead, you can do that. Now let's bring a little bit of this mix of the color onto the bottom half of her face, as it is looking a bit too light, and a little bit on her nose, just so it's not as striking white. Now let's set it with the heat tool and see whether we're happy with the skin tone or whether we want to go a bit darker. I think I'm happy generally, so I'm just going to add a bit more of this yellow tone around the eyes, like so. Unfortunately, I lost a little bit of the white of the eye, but that's okay. So what I'm going to do now is just, again, with a bit of water, just blend through this lovely color, which activates it and makes really beautiful. And then a bit of the water over her cheek as well, and very quickly setting it so that it doesn't run into one another. In terms of her eyes, I'm going to go for 026 and 126. So I'm just going to add this. I think she had brown eyes, just from memory, but I do like this color combo that I've done here, so I'm just going to go with that same look, and I'm going to go into a smaller brush this time and add a bit of water and leave it at that. In terms of her lips, like I said before, 8, 4, 7. It's a beautiful red. I'm going to maintain the highlight in the center of the lips to give her a beautiful pout. And set it again. Now let's swatch out all the colors that we've used so far. So in terms of color for her flowers, I think I'm gonna go with that bright red that I like so much. It's also a good color to cover any lines that there are from the ink. And now let's think about kind of what sort of color we want to add to the rest of the botanical illustration. So we have got green leaves, and I think in this case I would go for that beautiful moss green, which is this one here, and that's the red we used. I think this green works really well with her skin tone. It's got loads of warmth in there. I'm going to wait for this to dry, which will give me a minute to consider whether I want to add another color, what color it would be, or if I want to just add black to it and kind of have it really striking. While deliberating what color to use on these flower buds or potential berries, I thought in Mexico she would go probably for something quite exotic and vibrant, and a hot pink came to mind, but I didn't want to go quite as hot as just straight up opera pink. So I thought I'm going to use opera pink and mix it in with the red that we already used. So let's go ahead and create a little puddle of red first, and then into that we're going to add opera pink. Maybe I'll go into this puddle here instead because it's smaller, and get it to the pink that I want, but not quite opera pink. So something that's quite hot and bright. I think that's a good pink actually. So I'm going to swap to my smaller brush for this and just add and see onto one berry. No, so that's a little bit too close still, so I'm going to lift that with a little napkin and add some more opera pink into it, and hopefully that is now the color that we want. So let's wash out our brush and go into this hot pink. Yes, so now this is the color that we want. Also, I want to add something to the red flowers, which I'm going to go with the Bleed Proof White by Dr. P.H. Martens. If you want the most striking white you can get, you can see how thick it is, like it's literally just solid in there. Get a really fine brush. This is 3 zeros. And now I'm just gonna dot little dots of white just to break through this red so it doesn't look just flat, and we're going to give it a bit of interest, and I am varying the sizes of these dots as I go, and I think she's done. I'm just going to swatch out the opera pink. It's a great color to use when you want to add this kind of fluorescent brightness to your other reds or pinks, but at the same time to tame it slightly more down and not have it as bright and vibrant as it is originally. Let's have a look at our Frida. Let me know what you think. I think she's super adorable, and if you haven't illustrated your Frida yet, there is still time. Join in and have fun. She was such an inspiration, like I said before, and I love her style. I'm not so much into her art per se, but I do enjoy her kind of icon dominance. So here are all the girls. I'm going to give you a quick look at all of them, and we'll start a new spread for day 17, and it won't be the girls because I want to keep it nice and interesting and change it up. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.